Climate change is a pressing issue that is harmful towards the population of Earth. Despite overwhelming scientific evidence supporting human-induced climate change, many people still deny climate change as being a threat to the population, and many even deny its existence. Despite people's disbelief in climate change, scientists have been working hard at finding out more about climate change and techniques to slow down the impacts of climate change on our planet. In this documentary, you'll learn about climate change, the IPCC, and historical context on this topic.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Right now, out-of-control wildfires are raging across California.
Climate change is already very real for villagers on an island in northern Alaska. They're being forced out of their homes.
Scientists in Siberia have confirmed the highest ever recorded temperature in the Arctic.
Climate change is a global problem that will require a global solution.
This land was made for you and me.
In 1896, Swedish scientist Svante Ehrenghaus first theorized that CO2 levels could affect the Earth's surface temperature. Svante Ehrenghaus was a physicist who also studied chemistry. In 1903, he won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry. This founded a new field of science, physical chemistry. Since then, numerous studies have been done that prove this theory to be true. In 1988, the International Panel of Climate Change, also known as the IPCC, was founded by the United Nations Environment Program to combat global warming. The IPCC is an international organization that does reports on climate change and tries to find ways to fight against global warming. The IPCC published their first report in 1992, Climate Change, the IPCC 1990 and 1992 assessments. 3 years later, the IPCC released their second assessment. Throughout the 90s, the IPCC worked on enforcing guidelines for greenhouse inventories. The reports done by the IPCC give evidence supporting that climate change is real and suggests plans on combating it. One of the most important parts of the IPCC's recent history is the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement is a treaty that was signed on December 12, 2015, and went into effect on November 4, 2016. It was adopted by 196 parties and targets greenhouse gas emissions. The agreement was monumental, and it has all nations making efforts to combat climate change. The Paris Agreements had nations work on a plan to lower greenhouse gas emissions over the course of 5 years. In 2020, the nations gathered to discuss their plans. The IPCC does many reports every year on CO2 levels and the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is what occurs when heat from the sun gets trapped close to Earth's surface by greenhouse gases. These gases include water vapor, nitrous oxides, methane, and carbon dioxide. All of these gases are naturally occurring and are part of the Earth's atmosphere. Although these gases are naturally occurring, humans have been interfering with the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere by burning fossil fuels. Burning fossil fuels adds carbon dioxide to the Earth's atmosphere. This causes more heat to get trapped in the atmosphere, causing temperatures to rise. Although burning fossil fuel emits greenhouse gases, this is not the only way greenhouse gases are emitted. There are many other causes of greenhouse gas emission. These causes include factories, energy generation, and agriculture. When it comes to climate change, it is actually a much more controversial topic than one would assume. While many people deny the science behind climate change, some people are opposed to the change because of the effect on the economy. In an interview with Donald Trump, when asked about climate change, he brings up the economy a number of times, and then says that he will not make changes that may affect the economy.
I feel that the United States has tremendous wealth. The wealth is under its feet. We will soon be exporting. In fact, we're actually doing it now, exporting. But we are now the #1 energy producer in the world, and soon it will be by far. With a couple of pipelines that have not been able to get approved for many, many years, it'll have a huge impact. It's tremendous wealth, and LNG is being sought after all over Europe and all over the world, and we have more of it than anybody else. And I'm not going to lose that wealth. I'm not going to lose it on dreams, on windmills.
While those who argue against combating climate change often have financial reasons, those who are in support of finding ways to fight climate change are often willing to find compromises.
Look, the climate crisis is not our fight alone, it's a global fight. The United States accounts, as all of you know, less than 15% of carbon emissions. The rest of the world accounts for 85%. That's why I kept my commitment to rejoin the Paris Accord, because if we do everything perfectly, it's not going to only matter. If we act to save the planet, we can create millions of jobs and economic growth and opportunity and raise the standard of living of almost everyone around the world. If you watched any of it and you were all busy, I'm sure you didn't have much time. That's what virtually every nation said, even the ones that aren't doing their fair share.
Global warming has unreversible effects on our planet. One of these is glaciers melting in the poles. This causes sea levels to rise, which can cause to flooding, beach erosion, and many other disasters. It also causes temperatures to rise and can cause droughts and changes precipitation levels. It is important that we start recognizing global warming as an issue and save our planet.